Hello, people. I really want to talk about this movie I got, I brought it on eBay for $5. Um, and this was one of my favorite disaster movies, and it's actually based on a true story. But the movie itself is not really that accurate to the source. But it was a good movie in the time, and it taught me a lot about the history of what happened in that day in America back in 1980. Mount St. Helens, it's called. This was practically one of my favorite movies back in the days, and it was made by a indie studio brand. It's something. I've got to spell it out. Should wear my glasses for this. It's called Modern Entertainment. Yeah, this is the company who made this, the movie studio brand who made this movie, and it's a pretty good movie. It's pretty good. Like, it's one of my favorite movies back in the days. Um, yeah, like the thing is, I do have a bit of an issue. Well, back in them days, I didn't really knew about the history about St. Helens, about um, Harry Truman and everything else, and the and the and the scientist guy and everything else. They got the scientist guy's name is totally different to in the movie, and Harry Truman, he's in it too. They kept his name in this movie. Um, but the thing is, right? He had cats, but he never had a dog. But the thing is, that's the good thing about watching movies that don't. It is a good movie. It's not accurate to the source, but it is based on a true story. What happened that day? The thing is, Harry Truman didn't want to leave his um, lodge, the Mount St. Helens um, lodge, like where people, stay at the. Is it the lodge or is it Spirit Lake? I think it's one of them two. Um, yeah, he didn't want to leave his home because his wife, passed away 3 years, 3 years ago, and I think 3 or 4 years ago. And he didn't want to leave. He didn't want to leave his place where he lived. It's the Mount St. Helens Lodge or Spirit Lake Lodge, one of them two. And it was an earthquake. I think it was like 5 point something, and it shook. And the thing is, right, Mount St. Helens, it had a bit of a lava bulge coming from the side of the mountain. And when the earthquake did happen, it kind of like shook it, and that lava bowl just like slid down like a landslide. It's one of the biggest landslides in recorded history. And when that happened, that's when the second thing happened with that mountain. It actually blew up, and it actually practically when the landslide was happening, the mountain actually blew, and when that blew, it caused a pretty big pyroclastic flow, like a flow, and that's how Harry Truman died, and that's how his place where he lived for so many years with his wife and everything else just gone to flames and disintegrated, and it was very sad, like how he went out, but at least he stood his grounds and said, "I'm not leaving my property," and this is my property. You can't take me out of my property and everything else and everything else. Even the army was trying to get him out and everything else, and the people like who know him because he was like the local, dude everybody knows about, like the local wise dude, you know. Um, yeah, and but I don't know the scientist's name. I always forget his name all the time. Um, they got that right in the movie, but his name is very incorrect in this movie. But he did said this in the end of the movie too. Vancouver, Vancouver, this is it. And that's when Mount St. Helens just went up. Just blew it up, like because of that one little 5 pointer. Shook the foundations, and not just that too. The really creepy story, Spirit Lake, right? When the landslide was happening, I heard stories it was a tsunami because when the mud, like not the mud that landslide, when it was like coming down from the mountain, it actually pushed the lake up and made a big tsunami too, and that's how a lot of the floods happened downstream. Where all houses were like floating off their hinges. Like floating and everything else, and crashing into bridges and stuff. I actually did seen like on footages and stuff like that, and yeah, but this is actually a really good movie. It is a good movie. The day the I can't even fucking read that. I'm learning how to read. Yeah, this is like a real good movie. And there's the front of the cover, and there's a man who's playing Harry Truman, and there's the back of the cover. It's a great movie. It's a really awesome movie. I do love this movie. This was one of my favorite disaster movies, and it's actually what got me into learning about volcanoes and stuff like that. And this is what kind of like, you know, what made me know about every part of history about the Mount St. Helens and everything else. It is a great movie. It is a great movie indeed. It's made by an indie studio brand and everything else. And I'm pretty glad I got this in my collection. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hearing me bickering and talking about this like movie. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and see ya and goodbye and God bless.